Bad Brad, impromptu, fresh out of the shower, ready to go live and see who joins us today. Now, yesterday, we were very lucky to have Don Costa, a former bass player for Ozzy's sister, on the show. And man, that was such a awesome surprise because, I'd done the little tribute to him on YouTube. And man, it was just really cool to have her pop in and say that she saw the video and that she was thankful for it. So let's see who we can get in. We've popped open the Red Bull and we're going to get some caffeinated talk here today. We want to get some people in this room. In the meanwhile, you know what we do? I just start talking. How's everybody doing? We got a couple people in here. We got one like. This is off the cuff, live. I've wet down my wig. I got my wig on, and we're ready to rock and roll. If you have any topics on guitar or music or the music business, let me know in the chat. And we'll try to have a little discussion here today. This is impromptu. I decided, you know what? It's a Sunday afternoon. I feel like having a Red Bull and doing a little chat here. Joey, what's happening, brother? Thank you, sir. Hit that thumbs up. Good morning, Brad from Bend, Oregon. Thank you, Bud. It is so good to have you here. We're sipping a little caffeinated beverage. Now it's Sunday. I don't even know if there's any football. I know college football started yesterday, but you're wigging out, man. Yes, I am wigging out, bro. I'm wigging out, bro. My wig is out of control. Is the musicians union worth it? Mickey G, what is up, brother? I think, Mickey, I think you can answer that question. Ambra Audra Alves. Hello, how you doing? Mickey, have you acclimated to Florida yet? After decades in California, admit I am a wuss. I don't know that I've fully acclimated, but I know how to deal with it. It seems like you spend a lot more time inside. And when you do go outside, you roast. Hello, Ambra. Glad to have you here. Mickey asked about the union. I think, Mickey, you're a big fan of the music union, right? I've always been a scab. I've never joined the musicians union, but they have helped me out a little bit over the years. You every now and then getting some mailbox money and stuff like that. So the union's okay with me, but I've just always been kind of like to float on the side of the music business. So, Mickey, what is better, a pop or blues gig? Well, Mickey, which pays better and which boss is better? That would really depend. Have you, Abra just said, I like strikes. Have you ever run into Yngwie in and around Florida? No, I have not, but I did see Yngwie out the Rainbow in LA back in 1986, I think it was. But I have not seen him. He's in South Florida, so a little bit further down from me. But it would be cool. It would be cool if I did see him. It would definitely be cool. All right, we're having a little caffeinated beverage. Did you wake up or did you stay up last night? Musicians, we keep crazy hours, right? Yeah, Mickey, it depends on the gig, dude. It depends on who's the boss. Is he cool? Does it pay enough? I've never really been on a pop gig, so I really couldn't, although country, you might as well call that pop, right? And Mickey, in our comments, has been playing the Ryman and going on the road. I'm really proud of you, Mickey. He's played the Ryman, the Grand Ole Opry. He's been on tour. He's been on the bus. So he is going to have a lifetime of stories for himself. I can remember the first time that I played the Grand Ole Opry, like that show, and being on the side of the stage and getting ready to go on and looking, and what was the guy that was married? Bocephus, thank you, sir. Here's some money. Do with it however you want. Well, sir, I will put that to good use to keeping this channel going. Thank you so much, Bocephus. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I can remember, who's the guy that was married to Dolly Parton that wore the sparkly jackets and stuff like that. I can remember sitting on the back behind the stage and seeing him on stage and just going, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe I'm like getting ready to play the Opry, me, the rocker dude from LA. And there's Porter Wagner, that's who it was, Porter Wagner on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and we're about to go on. So that, I know Mickey is having those, yeah, Porter Wagner. I know Mickey is having those moments. Man, I remember the first time I saw you play, almost the exact conversation that ensued. So Mickey met me at Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar. And he's a sax player, and he moved to town, and he came out, and he just comes up and goes, hey man, can I buy you a beer? And I'm like, yeah. Yes, you can, sir. And so he bought me a beer, and he's hanging, and he's telling me, you know, I'm a sax player and all this. And man, we immediately hit it off. That's probably the best way you can introduce yourself as a musician. And, you know, Mickey doesn't drink. He doesn't party. He is sober, but he knows, man. You know, you don't, instead of just going up to somebody and trying to germ them and, hey, man, call me and give me a gig. He said, hey, man, I'll buy you a beer, you know? And it's like, I mean, it's the first guy that ever did that, bro. Anyone remember String Bean from the Opry and Hee Haw? Yes, that is an amazing story. Hey, Brad, the grinder. Pedro, how you doing, brother? I am the grinder, bro. Grinder. Hello from the French Alps. All right. We salute you, Pedro. Always like having Pedro in here, man. We got so many people from French Alps and UK and everything. You ever rub elbows with Buck Owens and or Dwight Yoakam? No, but I did play Buck Owens' Crystal Palace several times about 10 years ago. And man, had some epic times at the Crystal Palace. Really cool venue. And it's sad to hear that the family is now going to, and the estate is going to kind of wipe their hands of it. And I think they're going to put it up for sale. But man, that was a cool venue. Awesome up in Bakersfield. Yes. Man, that was a cool venue. He had like one of his cars like mounted on the back wall. And man, it's not in the greatest neighborhood. You know, Bakersfield can be a little rough, but man, we always had a good time when we played there. Always, when you look on your itinerary and see where you're playing, anytime it says California, it doesn't matter what city it is or where the venue is, you're always looking forward to that. Yeah, Roy Clark was an amazing guitar player. So yeah, I know my buddy Ira Dean had some run-ins with Dwight Yoakam. Pretty funny, but if I can even remember that stuff, those are his stories. So maybe one day he'll tell his story. Oh yes, we're caffeinating up. Hopefully, whoever buys it preserves that Crystal Palace. Hey, Brad from Hollywood, are you a Beatles fan? What other British band was an influence on your guitar playing? Well, sir, I'm more a Rolling Stones fan, but I like the Beatles a lot. I like a lot of their early stuff, the real, you know, kind of wearing the Beatles outfit and stuff. I like those sing-songy, you know, songs about love and stuff like that. But you know, as far as British bands, huge Rolling Stones fan. I've got a video in my members section about how when I was a little kid, me and a friend, we found out where the Rolling Stones were staying, and they were staying in our hometown. And we tried to sneak in We snuck in the hotel and snuck up to their floor with the dreams of jamming with the Stones, bro. So yeah, Stones for me, Kinks, The Who, love all those bands, man. And I love the sound of a British amp, a Marshall amp, a high watt amp, a Vox amp. You got any Steve Lukather stories? Yes, a couple of Steve Lukather stories. So, and I know Mickey, you have a Steve Lukather story because you were hanging out with him backstage, right? So I'll have to tame this down a little bit, but in the early days, what is was it the Hospitality House across? No, Jeff McCardle. They were staying at the Kings Mill Hilton. The Rolling Stones stayed at the Kings Mill Hilton on the Tattoo You tour. Me and Mick are gonna wing on over to England, jam with the Stones. Yeah, it was, dude, and it was before Fast Times. Is Chamo? Yeah, Chamo's not here, is he? I have not seen Chamo on YouTube. God, I'm getting fast and furious. I start losing focus and I start drinking more caffeine and getting more and more pumped up. This is what we have. Caffeinated, free-flowing conversation. Now, if you had any specific topics, of course, anybody who hits the super thanks can ask whatever question they want. But the Steve Lukather stories, he is a hilarious guy. That's really all I could probably get into right now with Steve Lukather. The stories would that pedal was sounding great, my brother. The wife made me cut it down though. Dwayne, what's happening, man? Dwayne in the ATL. Man who has understood and been in the music business for a while. I can imagine my wife would make me turn it down too. In fact, when I was tracking that stuff, I had it down to a whisper because everybody was in the house and I was just like, I gotta, that pedal came out, 2-3 days ago? And I don't have manufacturers of that level, sending me pedals. So I have to try the day the pedal comes out, try to order it, try to get it, to try to capture some of that initial buzz that when a product like that comes out. And I'm not sure if people are that excited about that pedal or not, man. I don't know. You ever rub elbows with Mark Kendall and Jack Russell when you were living here in Southern California? No, I did not. I don't even think I ever really saw those guys live. I know Bobby Brown was in the Once Bitten, Twice Shy video, and I did see her a bunch with Janie Lane in the clubs. So, yeah, it's kind of like the Kevin Bacon degrees of separation or whatever. It's kind of adjacent. So, oh, that's delicious. So, everybody, we've got 25 people in the room, but only 11 thumbs up. We need to get those thumbs up, popping and clicking. This is impromptu. There was no predetermined time. I just told the wife, I said, I'm going on YouTube right now, and we're gonna get it popping, right? And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Now, Mickey did say, what is a favorite acoustic guitar? Do you write songs with an acoustic? I have written songs on acoustic. It's not my preferred instrument. And I don't really have a favorite because I don't invest a whole lot of money in acoustics. I've got a nice Taylor. It kind of just sits in its case, waiting for times when I need it. I bought my daughter a couple little baby Taylors. And what else? And I've got my great-grandfather's Gibson. I think it's L1, something like that. But, acoustic is a cool thing, man. It's cool, but I always wanted to play electric. That's where my heart lies, is an amplified guitar with some sustain to it, and, you can make that thing sing. That's what really floats my boat. All right, we got 29 people in here. We need to get some more hot topics. What do we got for hot topics now? Let's get it popping in here. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's get the subscription. Now, last week, we celebrated 5,000 subs. But within the week, we got another 500 this week. So, do you like PVT60 guitars? Bud, I do like those. And I lament the fact the first Baby Taylor sold it. Pedro, yeah, they do tend to sound the same. I miss PV guitars, man. I miss the old company that was building stuff, in Mississippi with, American made, very sturdy, very durable, and very affordable. I miss those days, man. And, you can still buy, thank you, James. Thank you. You like the UA anti pedal, that video? Strat or Telly? All of the above, bro. You have to have both of those. You got to have a Strat, you got to have a Telly, you got to have a Les Paul. You need a bass, PV also did great basses. Yes, they did. They did. Man, I wish, that company had better management and had continued. What gauge strings do you use? Now I know Mickey is. Thank you, brother, for keeping the questions coming in. 10 gauge strings mostly. I did show yesterday. Yesterday we had a live unboxing of my strings and the UA Audio anti pedal. So, or anti, or I don't understand why they call it the anti. I don't know what that even means. I mean, 10 to 46. Yeah, that's my preferred string gauge. But I tell you what, regulars, yeah. Ernie Ball, Diodario, 10 through 46, whatever. As long as it's a quality, Ernie Ball or Diodario, I don't care if it's nickel plated or any of that. You ever get blackballed? I'm sure I have. If you've been in this business long enough, yeah, I'm sure I have. But, usually the people I want to work for, I don't have a problem working for them. And there's a reason for that. It's the best compromise. Yeah, Pedro. We are popping and bopping. We got 36 people in here. Any John 5 stories? Well, you went with me backstage at the John 5 concert. So, yes, Ace. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we had my old drummer in LA, Roger Carter, played in the band Shock. He has a studio out in LA, and he's known John 5 for eons. So they came to town. When was this, Mickey? Was this 10 years ago? 12 years ago? They came to town, and Roger reached out and said, hey, man, we're playing tonight at such and such a place. You want to come out? And I'm like, yeah. So he put me, and it was like us plus 3 or something like that. And we got to go to the concert, and then we got to come backstage and say hi, and John 5 was sitting there doing this the whole time, and we talked to Roger a little bit. So that was a cool thing. Let's see. Welcome to the Bay Area. Thank you, James. Reverb before delay. Delay before. Delay before reverb. Because reverb is usually in an amp, like the old Fender amps. It'd be reverb on the back end. But I'm sure you can get some cool results flipping and flopping it and trying different things. Always experiment, right? Mickey is the king of that. Did you have a Jack White moment while in Nashville? Absolutely not. I never saw him. What's your go-to pedal board chain? Wah, full tone, overdrive, full tone, full drive, the Dude, JSH Rocket, full tone OCD, HX Stomp. That's my favorite pedal board. Good morning, John. Good morning. Glad to have you here. Yeah, get your coffee, bro. Join us in the caffeinated feast. All right. Yes, Mickey, we saw John 5 at 12th and Porter. That is correct. Top Jimmy, Carlos Guitarlos. I just went into that rabbit hole. Carlos is awesome. Yeah, I've gone down that rabbit hole too. I've seen him on Norman's Rare Guitars, and then realized he was the guitar player for Top Jimmy. And man, I've heard all kinds of stories about that cat. Man, I wish I'd Wish I'd have known about them. There's a few of those kind of iconic LA underground artists like that, which I wish I'd really known about when I was out there. But, I was in my own band and trying to do my own thing. And so you don't always, you get to go to where someone calls and goes, hey, if you guys want to come to this show tonight, we'll get you in for free. So, there's that. So let's get those thumbs up. We got 40 people in here. We're rocking and rolling. See, we started with 0 and now we got 40. So we're keeping you entertained and having a good time on a Sunday afternoon. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. So what else we got? What do you people, Terry Cass, Santana, or Peter Frampton? Well, my old college buddy and roommate in LA was Keith Howland. And he, played the Chicago gig for 20 years, 30 years, something like that. He was a huge Terry Cass fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Chicago. What was the other one you said? Terry Cass, Santana, or Peter Frampton? I got to go Frampton if out of those trios, just for me. Do you ever play Gretches or Rockabilly? Pedro, I love Rockabilly. I love the Stray Cats. I grew up listening to Elvis. So Scotty Moore was one of my first things that got me into guitar. But I don't really play that style that well. I can dabble in it and I could fake it. If somebody threw me a Rockabilly track, I could dial in the slapback guitar, and I've got a really, really nice Gretsch. I love that style though, man. I love the Stray Cats. When they came out in the 80s, it was so cool because it was like they're bringing back that sound that I really liked as a kid. So yeah, I'm a big Rockabilly fan, man. And anytime I hear that stuff, I still listen to the Elvis channel on XM sometimes. Frampton was your first concert. That's amazing, James. That is amazing. Man, he's a really good guitar player. It is. Rockabilly's like blues was sped up, but it's got elements of swing, jazz. Some of those guys were like closet jazzers and their note choices and stuff like that. So yeah, Brian Setzer is a bad dude. He is, man. Listen to his version of Sleepwalk. He throws in some chord subs and stuff like that. He's got some jazz, listen to his playing. He's listened to some of those jazz cats. So yeah, I really dig what they do, man. I saw the Stray Cats in their prime, right when Stray Cat Strut opened. And this is a really good story. It says, Dwayne, do you remember the Bus Boys? The Bus Boys opened for the Stray Cats. Now, if you can imagine, the Bus Boys, they were an all-black band, and they had this, he looked like a heavy metal dude on drums, but I think he was like Mexican or something. But he had the big hair, and he played the big kit, and the guitar player for the Bus Boys was Vic Johnson, who for years has been Sammy Hagar's guitar player. And he also, he was in a metal band in LA back when I was out there. And I can't remember, I think it was called Total Eclipse or something like that. Yes, he was in the Bus Boys. And man, so I went to the concert. I didn't know who the Bus Boys were. Man, the Bus Boys came out and they kicked ass. And Vic Johnson was the first guitar player I ever saw live with a Floyd Rose. He had a Kramer and he had that Floyd Rose and he was doing all the dive bombs and stuff like that. And man, that is what sent me to the store to try to find a Kramer with a Floyd Rose, and really kind of took my playing to the next level because I'd never seen that before. I mean, I was in a small town in Williamsburg, Virginia, and the Bus Boys were a great live act. I mean, they put on a show. And I got to give the Stray Cats a lot of credit for putting that band up there, to open for them, because I saw the Bus Boys live in '81, Jack the Zapper Music Convention. So Dwayne, they were a killer act, man. They had their thing that they did, and very energetic, very much a show. I did play with Mickey just asked you ever play with Chester Thompson. Yes, I did at a backyard party once. That was the only time though. I think it was literally like somebody that I was playing for had a party and Chester Thompson was there, and he got up and played drums a little bit. But very cool, very cool. So yeah, the Bus Boys, man, they put on such a great show that then you figure the Stray Cats come on and it's just three dudes, but man, they had those songs. Yeah, the Bus Boys opened for Eddie Murphy. They were a great band. That's a band that should have played. Yeah, I played with Chester at a party. I think we just played like Superstition or something like that. It was like a backyard jam. Thoughts on Mick Taylor? One of my all-time favorites. The best melodic lead guitar player in the Rolling Stones of all time. The solo, the tone on Can't You Hear Me Knockin', incredible. So yeah, Mick Taylor, salute, man. I kind of hate that he kind of fell by the wayside after he got out of the Stones, but man, music business chews you up and spits you out. George Thorogood, Ry Cooder, or SRV? SRV. Chester is another bad dude. The Easy Lover track is awesome. It sounds like a live take. Yeah, it does. The drums sound live on that. So, yeah. Okay. So, Mickey, badbrad, good afternoon. Joe, what's happening? Believe the guitarist from Busway now plays Sammy Hagar. Yeah, Vic Johnson. We were talking about him. And really, he's every bit as good as Joe Satriani. He could have done this Van Halen tour that they're doing now, but I think they just wanted Satriani's name just so they could get in some bigger arenas and make a big deal, make one big splash. But Vic Johnson is a great player, man. Like I said, he was the first guy I saw with that Floyd Rose and doing those dive bombs and all that stuff. And he was the reason. I hadn't seen Eddie Van Halen yet. I saw Vic Johnson before I saw Eddie Van Halen. So, yeah, those guys were absolutely incredible. We're rocking and rolling. We got 52 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. Let's get the subscriptions up. And, if you want to see all of my videos before everybody else, make sure to become a member of this channel. I'm always putting out new videos, but I only release usually one, maybe two a day. So some days I'll shoot 4 videos in the morning and edit them all day, and I'll post them. So there's all kinds of stuff. And some of those videos I might not ever release because, I'm gonna have to. I keep threatening to start a Patreon, and I've got a Patreon page, but there's some stories that are just too. When the hang is good, we forget to like. I get it. When we're rocking and rolling, I don't think you have membership activated. I do have membership activated, and if you go to my subscription page, you can join. There is a join button. I know YouTube is kind of messing with that, but yeah, I do have it engaged. Ibanez with a Floyd Rose 20 plus years ago. I think could get, I'm craving a Red Bull right now. Well, if you came over, I'd offer you one, sir. Yes, indeed, sir. Glad to have you here, sir. Vincent says douche, not deuce. Yeah. Hey, Brad, great to see you live again. Thank you, Ben. We're always glad to have all my amigos here today. We've had Mickey, one of my favorite sax players to work with in Nashville here, Mickey Gutierrez. Eddie opened for Black Sabbath 78. What a show. Favorite songwriter, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. Some face obscure guitarists are. I'm not sure I understand that question. Next question, sir. Next question. Please provide another question or clarify, sir. I can't understand quite where you're coming from, sir. Please, sir. We're rocking and rolling. We got 57, 35 thumbs up. Best stage shoes. Well, as you get older, they just got to be comfortable, right? Wrapped up like a deuce, another roller in the night. How do you feel about Jimmy Page? I love Jimmy Page. Why are you so bad, Brad? Well, I'm mostly just calm now. Stevie Wonder has my favorite catalog. Dwayne, that's an incredible catalog and some amazing songwriting. And yeah, that is, I put that right there with Steely Dan, man. Absolutely. Morning. I was just watching Kevin Dubrow and his mysterious death here in Vegas. I know it's not your subject today. So many guys leave too soon. Keep rocking. Thank you. That's Don Costa's sister here. Man, I'm always honored to have her here. That Don Costa story, man. What an incredible bass player. And yeah, if you haven't watched my video or go to her channel, she talks about Don on her channel. So, man, we're always glad to have you here. But yeah, Kevin Dubrow, you know, apparently he was partying. It was like Thanksgiving or something, and just like that, man. Whew. You know, I'm glad I ain't messing with that nonsense no more. You know what I'm saying? You're a super cool dude. Thank you. Thank you, Windbringer. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was checking out your channel this morning, and Blackfoot, the Indian rock band. Man, dude, Blackfoot, Train, that is a jam, bro. That is a jam. How did you treat your roadies on the tours with Colt? I treated my roadies better than anybody did. I gave my roadie guitars. I gave some of the crew guys, I gave one of the crew guys a guitar. I would do anything I could to keep, especially my stage manager, happy, because they hold your life in their hands, and they are your second set of eyes. And when the you know what hits the fan, man, you want that guy on your side. So it's Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Sarah Costa, everybody. Don Costa's sister, legendary bass player for Ozzy. Yeah, dude, I gave, in fact, even after the fact, my old stage manager came by the house, my old house in Nashville, and did a couple things for me. I paid him a couple bucks, and as he was heading out the door, I said, "Here," and I grabbed a guitar and I go, "Take this with you." And he was just like, "Dude," and like gave me a huge hug. He was also a guitar player, so you know he's a cool dude. But man, I'd always, you know, dude, when my time was up on the road, you know, it was he who helped me get my stuff off the bus and all my road cases off and drive it over to my house. You know, he's still to that day. And when I moved out of my small house and into a bigger house, it was him I called and paid to help me get my stuff. Yeah, everybody go check out Windbringer. She is Don Costa's sister. Everybody go subscribe to her. And I'm going to encourage you to you know, continue with your channel. I think you've got a lot of stories to tell. And just like, you know, I've done with this channel, people want to know. People, you know, once we're gone, stories go with us. So I think we need to all get out there and tell our stories. Drop D replaced the guitar solo in the 90s. I don't know if it was Drop D. Are they were just trying to be anti-rock stars. That kind of seemed like when I would have to play a guitar solo in the 90s on somebody's song or something like that, I had to dumb it down. I had to play like the, you know, the 2-string bends and kind of try to sound like I couldn't really play that good, and I couldn't do anything flashy or anything fast. That's just the way the 90s were. I think if the 90s hadn't have kind of made it uncool to play, you know, flash guitar, I'd probably be a better player now, because I went for a whole decade where, man, that's not cool. Don't play that. Don't play that. Not having to downplay all the time. Why do you think the more depressing grunge music became so popular? What was going on with people at the time that caused that change? Fresh, I think it's a lot of factors. And I've done several videos on it. I would encourage you to check those out. New bands started tuning down to C. Yeah, the Cookie Monster thing and all that. Man, grunge, hair metal, I guess, ran its course. And, a lot of the, hey, Earl, what's happening? Happy Sunday. Pete Thorne is on at 2:45. Hope you check it out. I will try to check that out. If the wife will allow me, sir. Yes, indeed, sir. I'm glad to be the interim. I'm the opening act for Pete Thorne today, right? It's the Bad Brad. People say I look like Pete Thorne's dad, right? So Pete Thorne's dad is opening for Pete Thorne today. So yeah, he is an incredible player. I love his demos. I know he's gonna. I will do, Earl. I will do. Yeah, 8 strings. Will you ever go on the road again? Charles, I don't know, man. I don't think so. Did bands in the 80s have emergency hairdressers? No, I agree. I try. I really don't have a channel. Try Windswept. There was an announcement about my brother, just a follow-up, but yeah. Yeah, I did see your videos. So I would encourage you to keep one more Red Bull, and I'm dropping dropping money. In England, grunge caught a generation that had no style yet, like School. Man, music is just such a, it's an ever-evolving thing, and trends come, and what happens is there were some good grunge bands, and a lot of those grunge bands, if you go back and look at what they looked like before they got famous, some of them were glam. Some of them were glam. And it's a natural progression. It ran its course. Yeah. Imagine World Peace were to sign a deal. Wow. I did not know that. I remember Imagine World Peace. They were a band in LA, and they were pretty popular, but I didn't know they were demanding cars. Man, I would have just demanded meal at Denny's. That's what I would have demanded. Jim McCarty. Heard of him. That sounds familiar. I'm not that familiar with him, though. So we're rocking and rolling. What do you think about Randall Smith? I did a whole video. I think it's called Has Gibson Ruined Mesa Boogie or something like that. Man, I don't know, dude. It's like if Friedman ever left Friedman amps. I mean, Randall Smith is, for better or worse, he is Boogie Amps, and he is the guy. He is the main brains and heart of that brand, and I hate to see him go, but the dude's 78. Maybe he just wanted to go home. I don't know. Or maybe they butted heads on direction. I don't know. I just don't know. But I can only hope. That's what people say, Pedro. There's a lot of brands that they have had they've had control over the years, and it seems they've done that a lot. What are your thoughts on Prince after he's been gone thus far? I'm a huge Prince fan. Yeah, here come the Boogie reissues. I would love it if Mesa Boogie reissued some of their old amps. I would love to be able to buy a Mark I or a SOB or one of those amps. Carmine Appice, Jeff Bogart were in Cactus with Jim McCarty. Okay. Yeah, you mean Tim Bogart, right? Tim Bogart. I used to see Tim Bogart all the time at GIT. He was a vocal instructor, believe it or not, at that school. Like he was head of the vocal department. Oh, I just got to recharge. Yeah, Tim, exactly, Dean. So we got 63 people in here, sir. Let's get the thumbs up. I have an old acoustic, the wood ones. I've been seeing more EVH50 than ever before. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Mesa on stage. Well, it's interesting you say that. I saw a recent interview with John Five, and he was a longtime Marshall user, And, he's got one of the biggest gigs out there for a guy of our age. He's got the Motley Crue gig, right? And they're, whether you like that band or not, they're playing huge shows. And he was on tour with these Marshalls, and if something happened and he needed, hey, my amps broke down, I need an amp here, and he would be all over the world, and they couldn't get him an amp. Oh, we don't have that amp. Oh, that's not in stock. All this. And so after, 20 plus years of playing through Marshalls, he's now playing EVH. John 5 is now playing EVH instead of Marshall, because Marshall is just like, they're just being lackadaisical about building amps. And you know what? I hate to see it. I think Mesa Boogie, it was very popular in the new metal era. But yeah, I don't know, man. McCarty's retired from the road. I was binge watching your channel fast while working on a Fender. I was amazed at the video about the singer with the band. Yeah, that band LSD is a trip, bro. And I got word that Stanley, the lead singer of that band, actually saw my video and forwarded it to a friend of his. Did you get involved with bluegrass at all in Nashville? Man, I don't have any bluegrass chops at all. I could maybe fake it for about 2 minutes, and then I'd be, if I had to play that, somebody said, oh, get up here and jam with these bluegrass guys. Man, I could fake it, like I said, for about 2 minutes. Have you ever tried the Blue Guitar amp? I have not, Pedro. I actually said when they got back there, the whole strip had switched from its previous flasher version to look more like GNR. Yes, it was a transition, and we were all, everybody on the strip was getting rid of the flash and kind of stripping down to the bare essentials. So I don't know, there was obviously Guns N' Roses copycats, but it's just a natural progression to just go, man, I just want to put on my t-shirt and my jeans and go rock. I don't want to have to put on all this, hairspray and all this nonsense. There was a good question here that I missed. Ever tour Canada? Yes, indeed, Charles. I've been all over Canada. Opening for Eric Church on the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour with Colt Ford. Yes. All right, what else we got? Let's get them. Let's stack them deep and sell them cheap. You know what I'm saying? Did I ever meet Steve Lukather? No, I have not, but my buddy Mickey in the chat has. Ever heard Captain Beyond albums? I have not yet. I keep hearing about them. I need to go check them out. Thomas Blug has a channel, Academy of Tone. I need to check that out. The cost of EVH amps is much less than most metal amps. I think that's that is probably true. And EVH is Fender, essentially. And they can get product out there, and they can probably get the product out all across the world. So John 5 is like, man, I'm gonna go with EVH. I can get an EVH amp anywhere. I know a lot of metal guys swear by those amps, and they sound good. They sound good. Yes, absolutely, I dig Greg Howe. Absolutely, he is an incredible guitar player. He is amazing. 66 people in here. Let's get those thumbs popping. Let's get them up. We're rocking and rolling. I heard EVH amps are reliable. I don't know, Pedro. I don't know if they are or not. I think anything that's, any tube amp can break, even the most reliable ones. I can't verify that they're reliable or they're not. The one thing is you can get them. And sometimes on the road, you'd have 3 heads, hairdos, earrings, eyeliner, frilly clothes, got old. Watching Cinderella with David Lee Roth. Yeah, it kind of played itself. It got too ridiculous, man. 69, bro. We got 69 people in here. Have you ever heard Randy Hansen, who's the best? Yes, I have heard. Randy Hansen is an incredible tribute to Jimi Hendrix. It is absolutely amazing. First Deep Purple singer, Iron Butterfly bassist, and guitar player. I need to check out Captain Beyond. Everybody keeps telling me that. What's the craziest item you saw someone pawn? Well, maybe the craziest item I saw in a guitar case. There was a guy who came in one time to the pawn shop, and he had bandages on his arms. And I said to the owner, I said, that guy's a junkie. And the owner goes, oh no, he seems like a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. I said, well, he might be a nice guy, but he's a junkie. Oh, I don't think so. I think he's a good guy, good guy. So we take in his guitar. It was like an old Gibson, kind of like the one I have, 1920 Gibson in a chipboard case, right? Well, the guy comes back about 20 minutes later. He comes back and says, hey, I left my medicine in the guitar case. Can you get it? And I said, ask the manager. If he says that I can get it for you, I'll get it for you. So I said, hey, he's asking to get his medicine out of the case. Yeah, okay. So I go upstairs to get this guy's guitar case, from upstairs. And my buddy is sitting there eating lunch. And I said, hey, dude, remember that guy with the bandage on his arm? He wants his medicine out of the case. Let's see what's in here. So I open up the case, and under the little flap thing, I pick it up, and there was a bank bag, right? And I open up the bank bag, and I go, look. And he's sitting there eating his lunch, and I hold it open so he can look. And there's a rubber, thing, and a syringe, and a little baggie with some brown stuff in there. And I go, dude, look at this. And so then I go, I'm in the back, and I see the manager. I go, dude, look what was in his case. And I show him, he goes, get it out of here. Just get it out. Just get it out. Yes, that's what it was, Iron Man. So that was the craziest thing that anybody ever pawned. And I'm kind of surprised that we didn't look at the flap, inside the flap when he checked it in, Played out with a Marshall JCM 2000 Super dual lead head, and sound would change if the wind blew. Yeah, wind affects sound. Your rig sounds different outside. It sounds different inside. The room, the power, everything affects the sound. Dancing madly backwards on a sea of air. Okay, Shark Air. Glad to have you, Shark Air. Dancing madly backwards. All right. We're having a little more Red Bull. We're at 48 minutes. We got 70 people in here, man. Let's get the thumbs up, bro. Let's get the thumbs up. We get the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Oh, okay. That is a Captain Beyond song, Dancing Madly Backwards. See, I'm just not hip to Captain Beyond, bro. I've gotta get hip. I am originally from Virginia, but now I live in Florida. So, but I've been all over the U.S. Is that Red Bull 1 or 2? This is Red Bull 1, bro. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to 2 today, but I have my backup. Here's my backup caffeine. This is my real vice right here. Milo's unsweet tea. And you can see I'm already halfway across the label before I can even make it through the night. Oh, yeah. I'm in Pico Rivera, California. All right. Love California, man. It's the suburbs in LA. Very cool. Very cool. Glad to have you here. Before I can even make it through the night. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Little Diamond Dave, see? You never know what you're going to get on this channel. You got the guitar whisperer. I am the guitar whisperer. And And every now and then I'll give you a little foghorn, Brad horn. You're Charlie Parker trying to kick, but with Milo's unsweet tea. Yes, indeed. If you take your whiskey home, boom, boom, boom. Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that Van Halen song. What band? The Federales are from Pico. The band, the Federales. Ah, very cool. Ever listen to Bruce Cockburn? I have not. I have not. I'll have to check him out. Folkish. Okay. I get in a folkish mood sometimes, right? When we're all folk, right? Hello, Leah. Everyone share out this stream. Thank you. Let's get me up to 100 viewers. Yeah. Let's get the viewers up. You know, I'm enjoying this. I'm having a good time on a Sunday, hanging out with all y'all. We're always glad to have Leah here. I believe she's in Nashville, and so we're happy to have her here. Frank Marino is awesome, and I've gone down that rabbit hole fairly recently and checked his playing out. Very cool. Plays an SG with 3 single coils I've seen. Very cool player. We're having a good time. We're rocking and rolling. Are you looking to join or form a band in Florida? I don't know, Paul. Man, right now I'm kind of just... Man, I am working harder on this YouTube channel. I don't really even have time. Thank you so much, Leah. We are having a good time here. Eclipse Cat. Oh, wow. I did not know that Van Halen played Captain Beyond. I will have to check that. No, wait a minute. Now, maybe I have heard that. Awesome thing. Okay. So, yeah, I just got a text message from my old drummer in LA. He was looking for a couple of pedal steel players who looked the most outrageous you ever saw. Well, it'd have to be the singer for LSD, Stanley. That was the most outrageous lead singer I ever saw because he wasn't trying to look good. Most lead singers are trying to look good so they can meet the ladies. And he was not trying to meet the ladies. Who plays in a band with their siblings in here? Good question, Leo. Brad is detoxing from Nashville. Yeah, I kind of am, Charles. I kind of am. I'm kind of enjoying not the anxiety of, you know, I got to get used to it here. I got to get used to the traffic. I got to get used to getting around. Yeah, Stanley was wild. George Clinton was the weirdest looking. Yeah, George Clinton. That's a bad dude. And he, with that hair with those multiple colors all in it and stuff like that. Yeah, I've got some P-Funk stories. In fact, I worked security at a P-Funk show one time, and I kind of touch upon that in my upcoming concert security video. I have worked every job just about in the music business, and concert security was one of them. I even worked the pit at an Ozzy show. So that was an experience. Let me tell you something. So yeah, I'm one of those rare people who has been behind the scenes. And okay, Rich says visited Colonial Williamsburg way back in '75. Still got my tricorn hat. All right. I like the story you told about the singer who couldn't audition before he had his tea. Yeah, if you have not watched my Hollywood Sunset Strip auditions video, I didn't roadie for anybody, Charles. I haven't roadied. I've helped some guys out, but I work security at concerts, so I've done a lot. The T-Man, yes. The T-Man. Dude, he's brewing tea, bro. Dude, he's brewing tea. You gotta see that video. Trust me. I'm not gonna give it away. Did you ever play with Tom Bukovac or Guthrie Trapp? Now, I answered that question kind of yesterday. I did buy a couple of amps from Bukovac's music store he used to have in Berry Hill. I showed that amp yesterday. It's a Vibro Lux Reverb. And I never played with either one of those guys. Would have loved to have done it. I know there was a gig I couldn't do once, and Bukovac was called to play the gig after I said I'm not going to do it. So there's that thing. There's that. Okay. Virginia Country Ham is always good. Cage the Elephant is a sibling band. Van Halen was a sibling band. Okay, the Red Bull is gone. We are almost Teeny Hodges, Al Green's guitar player. Let me tell you something. That guitar playing on what's that song? Since We've Been Together, right? All that stuff that he does, you know. You know, all that kind of R&B, all that stuff that they do. What is the name of that song? I always would, you know, can't remember the title when I'd be on a gig and they go, well, what song should we do next? Let's Stay Together. That's it, yeah. Yeah, man, that stuff is killer, dude. I love Al Green, man. I love playing that stuff because, you know, the rhythm section will always play it a little bit different. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield, incredible. That's why I made like most of, yeah, Let's Stay Together, Mickey. Me and Mickey have played Let's Stay Together probably about a few hundred times. I love playing those funk and R&B gigs because I never get bored playing that stuff. Because I can always think of something different or do something different, and you never know. I even like soloing over that song. Ray Parker Jr. is very underrated. Very, very underrated. Are there any recordings from the Olsen Strip bands out there? There are some live videos in my channel. Go to the 80s section in the playlist. There's some live videos, and we don't really have any professional recordings, although we're trying to get everybody back to do a little bit, to just do something now because we have the ability to fly tracks back and forth and stuff. So we're trying to get that done. Me and the drummer have recorded some of those songs, and so we're hoping to be able to have something and put it out. So there's that. All right, we're at about we're almost at an hour. And if we can just get a couple little super thanks or something, I'll be able to tell the wife that, well, I'm in here making money, honey. Otherwise, I can hear the wolves at the door, and they're gonna go, hey, we need you to do this. Caribbean Queen. I love R&B guitar. Just I love doing that kind of stuff. Steve Miller, very underrated. Robert Cray, incredible. Thank you for that. I love playing R&B. I love just... I love playing rhythm guitar like that. I never get bored. Let's see, after so many years, player styles change, and it will be very different than back in the day. You're absolutely right. Style and feel. Any experience, or what do you think of Buckethead? I think he's an incredible lead guitar player. Strange image and personality, and it makes a great story, right? I mean, he does his thing, and he got the Guns N' Roses gig because he created this thing. Chicken play, coquettes. Okay, we call it chicken picking. When I first got back to Nashville one time, and I was playing some gigs, and they were calling some tunes I didn't really know. The band leader would go, just chicken pick, it's in C, chicken pick. And so I would chicken pick until I could hear the chord changes go by and figure out what it was. So you'd always, start off. You'd be doing those little parts, which I love playing some of that stuff. When I was in the studio with Colt Ford, you got to think. You hear these songs, and you're like, "What can I do?" The beauty of that, the coquettes or whatever Pedro talks about, is I I can find a little small part like that and I can ride that through the whole song. So I was doing that on country songs, and we had one song that did really well, and I heard, I was playing, I played R&B guitar on the whole song, and I later, when I went to do the same thing, on another session with the same artist, the guy said, "Oh, yeah, that's that R&B." I said, "Dude, that's what I played on the last song. That was a huge hit." He goes, "Oh, you did?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and do that." Because you just like there's another guitar player there, and maybe he's playing chords or whatever, and there's everybody's doing stuff. So sometimes just breaking it down to a little simple, just breaking it down to little parts like that. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it keeps the rhythm going of the song. So I love playing that style. We've got 68 people in here. We are over an hour. If we can get just a little bit of super thanks or something, we'll keep it going. Otherwise, the wife is going to say, "I need you to do this and I need you to do that." Did you ever have the chance of seeing Weather Report? No, I did not. But I saw Michael Brecker quite a few times. I saw Miles Davis once. I saw, who else? Stanley Jordan. I saw Stanley Jordan right when he came out in a small club. I saw Horace Silver in a small club in LA. Good friends, grew up with James Genus, who played with Herbie Hancock, and he's the guy that got me into the Brecker Brothers show. And so, yeah, I've seen some great performances. We don't get those artists often in Europe. Yeah, how good is music reading skills? Better by ear. I'm more of an ear player. I'm not a sight reader, but I can read a chord chart really well. I can, pull up a song that I don't know, but if I've got the chord chart, I can follow along pretty much to anything. And if it's a hard one, with a chord on every beat, I know to just pick out the main chords out of the phrase. Eddie Hinton, Muscle Shoals, check his albums out. Okay, I will check that out. How was the Monster Truck Show? Thank you, John. The Monster Truck Show was awesome. It was a lot of fun. That was a unique anniversary, going to see monster trucks, right? So let me set this down here. I'm gonna do a little caffeine here. A caffeine infusion, bro. Earl, thank you for sending me that. Mickey, you are a god among men. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Thank you, sir. You are golden, Mickey. I'm trying to hit the like on that. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you so much. I owe Mickey. I'll hit you back, bro. Thank you so much. You know, I hear the wife. I hear the wife at the door. She's probably going, how much longer is he going to be in there? I don't know how much longer I'll be able to continue, but everybody, let me tell y'all something. Go and subscribe to Mickey's channel. He's doing really cool stuff with sax and pedals. He's a pedal collector. If you're into sonic exploration, but Mickey is a guy that can play like Brecker Brother, Michael Brecker type solos and stuff like that. So if you need any tracks done, if you need any sax on your songs, Mickey is your guy. He is a really cool dude, and he would love to play in your thing. John McLaughlin, fantastic. Thea Roust, okay? What's Mickey's channel called? Mickey, can you put a link in the chat to your channel? Can you post your link to your channel, and we'll get you some subs. Let's get his subs up. Let's get him popping. And I'd like to see Mickey one day, doing more YouTube, because he is a unique talent all himself. Wifey at the door. That's why I'm 54 and still single. Dean, I hear you. Yeah, she's out there. I hear her. She's probably going, what is he doing in there? But thank you, Mickey, for keeping us going. I think only mods can post links. I'm going to hit you up for consult. Your channel's killing. Mickey, anytime, brother. Do a live chat with Mickey. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Mickey, we'll do a Nashville chat. Maybe next Saturday. Mickey, if you're available, maybe we'll have you pop in as a guest on this channel. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. Maybe next Saturday, say 1 o'clock. I don't know. If you're around, man, that is a really good idea. Because me and Mickey got stories for days, and he is hilarious. He is a hilarious dude. Absolutely. We will have to tame it down for YouTube, Mickey. We will not be able to, we might have to be semi-filtered, but that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I've already talked to both of my drummers in LA about doing a Zoom and talking about the Sunset Strip. And my buddy, Roger Carter, I hit up last night, and he said, oh, I'll bore your listeners to death. I said, dude, you will not bore the listeners to death. First of all, I will host and I will keep it, popping. Yes, Mickey, I think that would be cool, dude. We need to consult on that, and maybe we can do that next weekend or the weekend after that. Boom, 1 p.m. Yeah, I know there's a way to like just go live with somebody, and I think we can just do that just like we're doing right here, and have you pop in the channel, and that'll be an interesting view. But everybody go and subscribe to Mickey's channel. He's a really cool dude, and like I said, great sax player. All right, we're at 67 minutes. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to continue on this journey with you today, but we're having a good time. We're having a blast. I finished off the Red Bull. Are there any other great unsung bands from the Strip besides LSD? I love all your stories and insights. Lancia. Does anybody know the band Lancia? There was a band called Lancia. It had John Billings on bass. It had Scott Travis, and Bart Walsh was the rhythm section. And that was the band that became Atomic Punks, which was one of the first Van Halen tribute acts that ever was. And thanks, Pedro. Thank you for that. And then they had a vocalist, Paul Lancia, and that's where they got the name Lancia. But they were a killing band, man. They were really good. And they ended up getting like a small deal on a Japanese label, and but it was the tail end of the Strip, man. And pretty soon everything kind of fell apart, and that's when those guys started Atomic Punks. With this channel, call it Our Stories from the Road. That would be a really good live chat. That would be good. And Coltrane meets Pink Floyd. Yeah, he is Coltrane meets Pink Floyd. See, Mickey, we're getting you popping here. We're gonna get, and Mickey, I want to see you do some storytelling on your channel. I want to see, yes, exactly, Pedro. Yeah, we're talking about the band. But, as far as other bands on the Strip, I mean, a lot of them were kind of, they were competition for the band I was in. And, a lot of them were kind of doing the same thing. And, there were bands that I saw that were very popular, just like, at one time my band was, popular and we were headlining and all that. But, it's like LSD, the band, was the only band that really blew me away. They just did. It was so different and so unique. And I didn't see anybody other than that really blew me away. Lancia was a cool band because they had, Bart Walsh played with David Lee Roth. There you go. See, Mickey, you got Leah Sugarbritches has just subscribed to your channel. And that is worth the price of admission right there. Yes, indeed. All right, I think Stanley is special. Yeah, he is something else. Let me tell you something. Toro, more Red Bull. I don't think I can take any more caffeine, especially not Red Bull right now. And we'll do one last pull on this and probably wrap this up unless we have some explosions of joy here on this channel. All right, I'm going to thank everybody. How's the music scene in Florida? Okay, that's a good question. From what I can tell, the bands don't make as much money here. There's a lot of duo and single gigs, meaning playing acoustic guitar, playing Margaritaville, maybe with one other guy, or playing by yourself. The wedding gigs don't pay what I was making in Nashville. And I've confirmed that with the owner of a Replay Guitar Exchange. And I told them what I was making in Nashville, and they just kind of shook their head. I said, that money, that's not what people are making here, is it? And they just kind of shook their head like that. And I said, well, that's why I'm on YouTube, and that's why I'm working this every single day. I'm putting in, Pedro, to me, there would be a place for yacht rock. And I've still got some ideas of some things, to do here. And I'm hopeful, and I'm thinking that if I just refuse to play for $200, that I'm going to get some opportunities from some people that are tired of the $200 music and maybe want a little bit elevated music. But I need to touch base with some of the musicians. Wavelength, thank you so much. Wife Hush Money, thank you, sir. Thank you. That is awesome. Wavelength, thank you for coming through. I would like to have a band here, but we don't have the talent pool of Nashville. Nashville's constantly got players coming and players, that have been, with so much experience and all kinds of different players. And, I've had that conversation with musicians that play here, making the same 30 years ago. Yeah, that's what I hear. People are making the same money here that they were making 30 years ago. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I will continue down this road, because I'm able to stay home with my family and not kind of put myself in harm's way. Playing bars and stuff for $200, man, that's kind of a sketchy scene for me at this point in my life. I feel like after 30 years in Nashville, man, if I don't play any more live gigs, I'm almost okay with that. But there's a possibility I might be doing a little jump up on stage with Mickey Dolenz and the Monkees coming up. So my buddy John Billings plays bass for that group, and he said, hey man, we're coming to Florida on this date, and we're gonna get you up. We're gonna get you up to play a song. I was like, what? It's not exactly a bar gig. I'm sure it's one of those theaters and probably a few thousand people. But that would be super cool. And if I do that, if I do sit in with the Monkees, I will document that, and that will make a really cool. Video. Do you use Logic? I use Logic. Yes, sir. That's what I use. I like Logic. I started out with Pro Tools way back when, but I didn't really take to it. And then I got into GarageBand, and GarageBand turned into Logic. And I like Logic. Stepping Stone. Yeah, I like that. I wonder what song they want me to play. Nabrini plugins are on sale. I don't have a bunch of plugins. I've got just enough to do what I need to do. I'm not like a super, tech guy. For me, it's like a tape deck for me. Heard Motley Crue's new song, Five You're Right. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I don't know why Motley Crue is doing what they're doing now. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Had to watch the Monkees. Yeah, I love the Monkees, man. And Mickey Dolenz is the last one still standing. So, kudos to him to still being out there doing it. So, thanks, Charles. I'm out. Thank you, Charles. Dolenz was one of them Hollywood He was a part of the Hollywood vampires that would hang out at the Rainbow. Him and Alice Cooper and John Lennon. And what was the guy that sang Lime in the Coconut? Put the lime in the coconut. Who was that? Harry Shearer. Who was that guy? Harry Nilsson. Yeah, they were the Hollywood vampires that hung out at the Rainbow. And yeah, Nilsson, that's right. Tascam Porta 4, first recorder. Yeah, I used I had a Tascam 244, I think. That's how I learned how to record and play on songs is working on the 4-track and putting a track down one side and panning that, and then put another track down and pan that. I experimented with recording, doing that, and that's how I learned to come up with parts and experimented with that. So yeah, I would recommend to anybody to work on your recording. Gotta pan. Yep, you gotta pan them. Portax 4, yeah, Porta 4 or whatever it was. Yes, indeed. All right, we're at 76 minutes. I think we're going to have to wrap it up. I'd like to thank everybody for the super chats, super thanks. Thank you to Wavelength and Mickey, and I forget what the first one was, but thank you so much. We're going to have a great Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go spend some time with the family and try and straighten up this house. But everybody have a great day. Pete Thorne's coming up. Everybody bop over. And thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Earl. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. And mic placement, yeah, thanks for the love. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a great Sunday. And I'll see you live next Saturday, perhaps with a special guest. Thanks again, everybody.